Well, hello there and welcome to the channel. And in this video we're going to be talking about how to plant the crinum. This is Crinum Powellii, commonly known,
good.
Commonly known as Powell's swamp lily. We picked this up from the lovely RHS Wisley plant shop. My favourite garden, and this is one that Lorna in particular wanted to plant.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'm not a big fan of this.
You kept saying no for years, but I've got one in.
Yeah, I've got one in. And the reason why I'm not a big fan of these is because although I do really like the large, it's a very impressive flower on it. Well, two things really. Firstly, it's pink. I'm not a big fan of pink. And also, it produces masses of foliage. So you've got a huge amount of foliage and only like a few flowers. So I don't think it's worth the effect because there's so much of it. Anyway, this is rather special because this plant is a hybrid. It is a hybrid of Crinum, or as they say in America, Crinum.
Oh, say can you see?
Don't know why anyone would call it that, but it's a hybrid of Crinum bulbispermum. Don't laugh at that. And Crinum Powellii. Because it's a hybrid, it has a hybrid figure, and that expresses itself with this plant, at least in part, due to its cold hardiness. This plant would indeed go down to -10, yes, -10 degrees Celsius, whereas the parents of this plant are a little bit frost tender. Anyway, Lorna, Crinums, you want them? You know I'm going to ask you, what country do they come from?
Central America.
No.
Oh, it's been Central America for the last 4 times, so I thought I'd say it. Africa.
It is Africa, absolutely spot on. South Africa. Both parents of Crinum Powellii are from South Africa. In fact, it's from the Amaryllidaceae family, which is why I thought I'd show you.
Oh, it looks so lovely. Look at
Amaryllis,
that.
which is in
Happy
flower.
days.
So you can compare this flower with the flower of the
It
Crinum,
looks so good.
and there will be a similarity. Right, when it comes to planting,
Okay.
it is not too fussy really on what soil it has. It doesn't mind neutral, doesn't mean slightly acidic, it doesn't mean slightly alkaline. It just wants it to be free draining, fairly rich, does not want to be waterlogged, but the key thing, it needs to be in full sun. Now some people can or prefer to plant these in pots, especially the more tender varieties. You probably will have to, but this one you don't need to. And although you can plant it in a pot, we are going to plant this in the ground. And unlike an amaryllis, where you plant the neck of the bulb proud in the soil, don't you even see that?
Okay, yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so all that is bulb in there. This you plant much deeper. Now I know this is a little bit dried down, but then in the UK they tend to be lifted and they just sit in the stores for months until somebody buys them. So this is actually going to be planted quite deep. Now if this was a fresher plant, you'd be able to see this coloration that's slightly differently. You've got this dark coloration here, and then it's lighter just at the base of the foliage here.
Yeah.
And the planting depth is at that break.
Yeah.
So where that dark foliage turns to light foliage, that is where we're going to plant it. And planting this outside is what we're going to do next. Alright, so here we are at the point where we are going to be planting it, and I've allowed myself quite a lot of space for this plant. I know it doesn't look too big right now, but this will easily cover this whole area. So we'll take off this label. I'll tell you what, even though it's dry, you can see new roots coming off there. Well, I'm assuming there is, may well be nibicillate, but certainly some life in there. And like I say, so I've dug my hole.
Okay.
I know they require quite a lot of nutrition, but I'm not going to put any extra farm manure or blended farm manure like I like to do. You can put in Grome or whatever, simply because it is so vigorous. I don't think it really needs it.
Right.
We just need to measure off the soil level
Okay.
with that height, and I would say it's a bit deeper. So So that's better. Now,
Okay.
the problem is, you see this, it has curved. Because when it's in the shop, they've laid it down and it's
Yeah.
done this. So we
Yeah.
need it back up like this again. So
Yeah.
it might look a bit odd when it first goes in. But really, that's
They'll
better.
straighten up, yeah.
We'll straighten up.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm really excited for this one.
Do you have any questions for me? Lorna?
How long before I get a flower?
I'll tell you what, we'll answer that back in the back garden. All I've got to do with this is water it and that's done. So just give us a sec. So when will it come into flower? You're looking at between 2 and 5 years. Really, just need to be big enough, established enough before that starts flowering. So 2 to 5 years. And it will flower at a height of roughly 1.5 metres, about 5 feet tall. So it's a big, impressive plant. Any other questions, Lorna?
No.
Well, in that case, if you, lovely viewer, have got any questions, then you can ask those and leave that in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's goodbye from Lorna.
Goodbye.
You do that. And see you in the next video. Goodbye.